Well, hello, my wonderful brothers of the Maverick Nation. I am the Dark Shadow Maverick, and I have breakfast with me this time now. And I am also here for part 3 of What If BakuDeku? My version. And yes, all the parts will have 18 plus at the end. Gotta prepare you guys. Let you know what you're in for. Trust me, I would only warn you if I thought it was necessary. Like, of the highest order of necessary. Hmm. 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 So, seeing as last part we left off with the USJ attack, I'm going to say that there would be some time for everybody to repair and recoup. Seeing as, the USJ attack was not something that was planned. Not at all. The villains just decided to wreck everyone's shit. And what I'm going to say is, you know, Izuku and Bakugo would plan to do some training. You know, that some training during this time would be planned, but there would be a little bit of a problem coming in the form of, well, let's just say one day, like, Izuku is about to power up some One For All to kind of collide with one of Bakugo's explosions. Let's say stun grenade, because stun grenades kind of, I would think it would be like a wider range than an AP shot. So, and for those who don't know, AP means armor piercing. For those who don't know. Anyways, he would just go for a stun grenade, and it would just collide with the One For All, or at least it would have if something that's going to be kind of a reoccurring, like, a problem for the two of them hadn't ended up happening. You see, right as, the One For All and the stun grenade were about to collide with each other, something happened that caused Izuku to freeze up. He remembered that day. He remembered the USJ attack. Well, she did, because Izuku is a girl in this one. I have to remember that, damn it. Shit. Basically, something caused her to remember, and she just froze up whenever she remembered, because what she remembered was her near-death experience with Shigaraki. Whenever she almost got freaking decayed to death, she basically remembered being flicked into a wall and then almost decayed to death. And that basically caused her to freeze up and get hit full force with the explosion. And, the explosion even caused, like, the arm that was going to use the full cowling punch thing to get, like, damaged even worse than, like original damage that would come from using full cowling. So yeah, Bakugo would be like, what the hell, Izuku? What was that? What was that? Like, he would be like, what, literally, you just stopped in the middle of that. Like, literally, what the hell? Why? Why the hell would you even do that? And At least warn me if you're gonna do that. But why even do it at all? And basically, Izuku would rebuttal with, she doesn't know. All that she can remember is seeing what almost happened to her back at the USJ attack, right as the explosion was about to hit. Right as One for All, like full cowling, and like the stun grenade were about to connect, she saw basically what almost happened to her, and that just caused her to freeze up. And basically, Bakugo is beginning to realize more and more that this is beginning to happen more and more during their training. And it doesn't even have to be the stun grenade. He could be using any random ass attack, and she'll just freeze up right as it's about to hit her. And, Bakugo would be like, this keeps on happening more and more the more we train. And to add, just keeps on getting more diminishing returns the more and more, like, the whole healing process. Yeah, to add to that, the whole love healing thing is starting to get more and more diminishing returns the more she has to be healed. For some reason. I mean, it wasn't like that in the past whenever they had, like, they hadn't used it much, but now lately it just keeps on getting more diminishing returns. It takes longer for her to be fully healed. And she just can't seem to stop, like, jittering and muffling, like, names. The name that Bakugo seems to be able to hear the clearest is Shigaraki. Tomoda Shigaraki. And Bakugo's like, that guy. Why did I have to be so damn slow? I could have killed him. None of this would have had to happen. Milk, just so I don't get dry mouth. From this peanut butter. And then just one day, he ends up giving Izuku a call, telling her that he doesn't really feel like training anymore. That he thinks that she'll be fine. And Izuku is just like, what? He doesn't feel like training anymore? Is this because of... Damn it. Why do I have to be so weak? I could have stopped that from happening if I didn't get flicked by that Nomu. Ugh. Why do I have to be so damn weak? And off somewhere else, just at the villain bar, all for one is just observing the scene. He's observing the development in how things have been going. And so one day he just goes up and he's like, Shigaraki. And Shigaraki's like, yes, Lord All for One. And basically All for One says, Shigaraki, I would like to see, or at least know. He would like, I would like to know, what are your feelings of the girl with the green hair and green eyes? The one you almost decayed completely. And Shigaraki's like, that girl? Well, hmm, she annoyed me. That's why I almost did that. If it wasn't for those heroes and everything else happening, it could have worked. And all for one's just like, maybe, maybe if we get to some more unorthodox methods, we could change her over to our side. She seems to be a very unstable mess at the moment. And Shigaraki's like, what is it you mean, Lord All for One? And All for One is basically just like, unstable mess as in, she could turn at any moment. All she would need is the right push, and the right person to push her. You might even get to be able to reverse the whole thing with her and Bakugo. If you really wanted to rub salt in the wound of that certain individual. And Shigaraki just all of a sudden remembers Bakugo. And Shigaraki's like, well, exactly, are you allowing for volunteers? And All for One is like, I was just about to suggest you. And Shigaraki's like, well then. How exactly do you think you would get me to be the one to give her the push she needs to join us? And, All for One is just like, well, if Bakugo can get her to feel love, then you can get her to feel hate. Hate to hero society that made you end up like this. I remember, Shigaraki, what you said. Your feelings toward the hero society. And Shigaraki's just like, oh, that's the method you want to use. But all for one, I would be glad to do so. Hirogiri, whoop, please. And Hirogiri would just, you know, it would come the day that this would happen. However, I need to consume this peanut butter bagel before anything else happens. Basically, one day, it would be the day that Izuku would hear about, like, basically, Izuku and Bakugo would hear about the whole UA Sports Festival. And whenever Izuku was walking home, a certain mysterious character would, they would just end up meeting each other because they would bump into each other. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I didn't quite notice you. You seem to blend in so much. Why does that unnerve you? Being weak and defenseless whenever certain individuals would have needed you most. And Izuku was just like, you know, I'm not the kind of person who likes to roll with the punches. So, unless you want to take that back. And then the person's just like, oh, what are you going to do? Kill me? No, you and your hero society. Heroes don't kill, am I right? They also don't seem to take action whenever it's needed. Some very interesting cases would be not taking action whenever. Oh well, you wouldn't understand anyways. And Izuku was like, who the hell even are you? And then the person would just say, Tomoda Shigaraki. And then Izuku would just be like, no, you're not him. You look nothing like him. And Shigaraki would just be like, exactly. Out in public, I can't exactly just show myself. You really think I'm that stupid? Must keep from dry mouth. And Izuku would be like, well, that is understandable, but seeing as you're a villain, I have to make sure that you're arrested. Huh? And just powers up to full cowling. Just powers up full cowling. And Shiraki's like, no, 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 that won't be needed. I'm sure, I can assure you that you've been looking in the wrong direction the entire time. If what you're looking for is love, then a certain individual has probably blinded you more times than you can count. And, like, Izuku just stops for a second. It's like, wait, what are you talking about? Love. What are you talking about? And, Shigaraki's just like, that Bakugo individual. Do you really think whenever he apologized that he meant it? What he said to you? Do you really think he meant it? Anything and everything that he probably did previous to our interaction with each other was probably all a facade. A facade. Face it, Izuku. He's playing you. He's been playing you. And Izuku's like, and how do I know you're not trying to play me? And Shigaraki's like, oh, was this all because of that moment where I almost killed you? Oh, please, it's nothing compared to what I've done to people in the past. Besides, I'm interested. What makes you tick? And, Izuku should just be like, that makes it sound like you're playing me more than Bakugo ever would have ever been doing that. What you just said right there. And Shigaraki's like, and that's why you're a clueless little. No, no, finishing that sentence. No, I know better than that. And you should know better. Better than to stoop to the low of settling for someone like him. And Shigaraki is like Izuku is just like Shigaraki is just, I'm sure you know better than to stoop to the level of someone like settling for Yatsuki Bakugo. Settling for someone like him? Oh, please, Isuki, you're far better than that. I actually do indeed regret almost decaying you. Now that I've been observing you more, I can see You're much more deserving of life than any of them. They're all the same, blinded by the Hero Society. You're only a part of it because you want to rise above it. You want to become a better hero than even All Might. You want progression, while all they want is stagnation. And tell me, do you really indeed believe that Bakugo wants to be better than All Might now that he knows he has you exactly where he wants you? And that just freaking sticks, Izuku. That's just like arrow through the freaking heart. That's just like, man, that's savage. Like, even for freaking Shigaraki, that's savage. And in more ways than one. And so Izuku was just like left to contemplate, what do you mean? And Shigaraki just gets close to Izuku and is just like, this isn't the real you. The real you is better than this. The real you shouldn't be stuck in a society that only feeds hatred into the populace of people that don't have such special abilities. Or either that or their special abilities are villainous, perceived to be villainous by others who have it better than they do. I was one of those. My power decay, it was never seen as something that could be a heroic quirk. I destroyed everything. Slowly, but surely, I destroyed everything until I was left with nothing. Until Lord Alfred found me. And he gave me a life worth living, an existence in which I found peace. Or at least, for a time I found peace. But it just seems that the ignorance never stops growing. The ignorance of these people in this hero society. It needs to be burnt down to the ground. And I don't care what happens after it rises from the ashes, or if it even rises from the ashes at all, or if there are even ashes left to rise from. I will burn this hero society. Lord One has given me the means in which to do that. To exactly that. And basically, Izuku is just transfixed on Shigaraki. He's actually shown himself to her. He actually has that much trust in Izuku to show himself to her. Like, right as he started talking about burning the society down to, like, the ashes, that's whenever he showed himself to her. And basically, this, like, him showing himself to her, basically, it, like, to Izuku, it equaled, like, having trust in this person. And the only, like, thing, like, trust that she could really think of whenever it, like, equates to hero and villain in the manner in which this was going was Shigaraki trusted Izuku not to rat him out, not to turn him in. That he trusted her that much. That his words were enough to basically let her know that the people of this hero that this hero society calls the villains, are they really the villainous ones? Are they really the ones that are the villains? And Izuku just had to ponder this for a good while. Like, man, actually, a lot of what this Shigaraki guy is saying actually makes sense. And to think, like, she just starts thinking to herself, he had it so bad that he slowly began to destroy everything? His power, it was perceived so bad that they treated him in that way. He destroyed everything around him and was only left with All for One to take care of him, to give him what he needed in order to survive. For Shigaraki to be his disciple, for All for One to have that much trust in him. If anyone has trust in this guy, if he's trustworthy at all to anyone, given the power that he has, and well, he didn't actually seem all that trustworthy in the beginning whenever they first met. So for anyone at all to have trust in this guy, like his words must have some merit. And then like Izuku begins to realize something and then just says, "Your hands. You're wearing gloves now." And Shigaraki is like, "Well, I can't exactly say that I wasn't at least somewhat expecting to run into you sooner or later. I didn't want to hurt you, so please, all I want is harmony. Harmony I can give you. A better life I can give you. We're a family. We are the League of Villains. Here, the League of Villains, we are family. You won't be taking orders from a dictator. You won't be smothered under the rants and raves of a corrupt tyrant. You will just be following the escapades of a truly loyal and just all around just wanting to have someone to relate to family. As long as you don't try to do wrong by Lord All for One, and as long as we all can indeed trust each other, we're all family. Right, Dobby? Right, Toga? And Dobby and Toga just come out of nowhere. And Dobby is just like, we needed to make sure that we had Shigaraki's signal before we could come out. And Toga's just like, what Shigaraki said, we're all a family. The League of Villains aren't nearly as bad as what you think. We just do what we think is right by our means. And if other people have a problem with it, well, that's their problem that we can sort out for them. If it gets to that, that is. Well, we don't really have any, especially, rule around killing. And Dobby is just like, yeah, we're a little bit more loose. So, well, like Toga said, we don't really have that much of a rule around killing or not killing. We're still a family. And there are more of us than just the ones you see here. As you remember, you probably saw a mist villain. His name is Kirogiri. He's the way we're able to warp from place to place. That's his quirk. And so basically, Izuku's like, but my first ever quirk that I ever even got a taste of was the quirk opposite of your boss, Shigaraki. And Shigaraki is just like, it's not like we can't help with that. Lord All for One, even though he does have the power to take away quirks, he can also give them. And, this just, like, Izuku's like, he can give quirks? And, Shigaraki's just like, yep, yes indeed. In fact, he had one for you right now. Here, open the box. Once you do, the quirk will be bestowed to you. I heard it's called voodoo. And Izuku's just like, voodoo? And Izuku decides, can I wait till I'm back home to open the box. Here, I'll even, if you give me your number, I can text you guys when I have received the quirk. And Shigaraki is just like, of course. And basically, she gives, basically, like they all give her their number, and he gives them her number. Basically, number back and forth, toss and turn. And so basically now, Izuku has to make a choice. Stay with Bakugo and continue on the whole thing of becoming hoping of becoming a hero, like chasing that dream. Or, go and side with the League of Villains. She has been hearing about this so-called hero killer Stain. He sounds like he could be an interesting guy to join. Yeah, someone like him could be very interesting. And that is where I'm going to leave off because I haven't even finished breakfast. I was so, transfixed on this what if because I like to take special care with the BakuDeku side of things. I like to take special care so that this just doesn't dive off into becoming like a freaking tsundere, yandere type, like freaking, like, smut. I like to take special care so that we don't end up in like Twilight territory. As long as we don't end up in that territory, I'm perfectly fine. So, I don't see any doubts because the Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out of here. Yeah, boys.